So looks like we are now, we're live. So if you guys are joining us, watching this on the live stream, you're in for a very special treat because we're not just gonna do a regular Q&A and announcement. We're actually gonna go in on a factory tour with an incredible shop here in Las Vegas called the Live Print Shop. And the whole purpose of this is not just to educate you guys, but give you guys some game as to how iconic brands and brands today that are absolutely crushing it with their manufacturing and sales are doing it at a mass level. So whether you're just getting started with a Gildan tee, like Supreme and all these big streetwear brands did back in the day, or if you're already in the process of developing a brand and you're looking to scale up, this live stream's for you. So if you're watching it right now, make sure you guys are dropping your questions in the chat because we're going to be breaking off 2 Q&A throughout the video. And then at the end of this video, we're also going to be sharing a $5,000 giveaway for print credits here and another $5,000 that's going to be given away for personal consulting and branding through From the Ground Up, which is what we operate. So total of 10 grand up for grabs. There's going to be multiple winners. I'm excited to announce more details. But right now, let's kick the stream off and introduce the man, Austin. Austin, what up, brother?
Good to see you, man.
Dude, thank you for having us here, man.
Absolutely. Welcome to a Live Print Shop. We're in our showroom right now.
Okay.
This is where everything starts.
This is where the magic starts.
This is where it all starts. This is where we're bringing the design alive.
Okay, alive. Yeah, that's what a Live Print Shop is. So when it comes to printing, what are the most popular methods? Obviously, like I think sometimes people see, DTG as print on demand.
Yeah.
But when they're looking to scale up, there's a lot of different options. So
man, there's a lot. I think when you're looking to scale a clothing brand, people like that authentic feel of just a graphic tee, and I think screen printing it's never going to go away. Mm-hmm. It's like our bread and butter. It probably makes up 80% of our production, and it's just what makes a graphic tee, and especially now it's one of our favorite prints.
Okay, wow, this is like a dual type of hit. What is this?
Yeah, it's just a standard screen print, but what looks so good is meshing high detail with just the simple thickness of a puff print. And so puff print's been really cool. A lot of people just do a puff print. But what I loved about this shirt is it's actually for church merch, and that's what I love seeing it.
This is a church merch.
This is a church merch, yeah. Man, when I was in youth group and 15 years ago,
yeah, that wasn't the type of merch you got.
No, this was not it. Now you've got an AS color heavyweight faded tee, which is already by itself is a great shirt
with an incredible art piece on the back.
Cool, yeah.
This is nuts, man.
It literally takes an old print you'd see in the back of a Bible or something, and then
zoom in on that real quick. Look at that level of detail, guys. Is literally all those lines, the puff print on the top.
Puff is what makes it dynamic.
Wow.
It's just that. But this is one of the coolest samples we have because you get to show what makes things really interesting is when you have fine detailed mixed with very simple puff. Because puff just needs to be simple, bold, which makes it 3D. But when you pair that, and almost the tone on tone pair is what makes it cool. But what our philosophy when it comes to merch is before you even get to the print, the puff, anything like that, start with a great t-shirt. That's always
so a good blank.
Solid you have to have a good blank because if we took this same print and we put it on a really cheap t-shirt, it would just, the fibers and the t-shirt don't look as smooth and the print doesn't look as sharp. And so starting with the right merch and the right fit and the right style, that's our philosophy for doing great merch.
That's incredible, guys. And that's actually very important to note because when you're looking to elevate your brand, it's not just about how do I create better designs or how do I buy the most expensive or the cheapest, right? How do I drive my costs down but be able to get the highest profit margin? Sometimes you have to invest into some quality blanks if you're looking to attach a premium price point to it. And as the brands that get started, sometimes they start with a Hanes t-shirt or a Gildan, right?
You got to start wherever you start.
And that's just to prove out your market, right? Just like some of you guys that are watching that have been doing print on demand, it's to prove out the market. It's do you have a demand for your brand? And once you do, there's a lot of different blanks. And a little bit towards this tour, we're going to be diving into the different options of blanks, some of the ones that you find best for different industries and depending on price points. So make sure you guys are sticking around.
This customer is such a great example because when we started with them years and years ago, it was, hey, how can I get the cheapest 100 t-shirts? And we'd start with just a basic Gildan shirt with a one color print, and they would say, man, it's not really selling that well. It wasn't a great fundraiser. It wasn't that great. And then someone on their team said, hey, let's go for this boxy fit and the modern cut. And all of a sudden, the shirt went from a $6 shirt to a $14 shirt. That was their wholesale cost, which is a lot, especially for a church or a nonprofit. But then they would sell out. They're like, oh my goodness, the $5 shirt, we couldn't sell them. We couldn't even give them away. But $14, $15 shirt, we sold them for $40, $35, and it was a huge fundraiser. They blew it out. And every time we've even showed a picture of this shirt, people are commenting, Where can I get that?
Right.
I'm like,
This
go
looks like
check
a
out
brand.
this church in
Yeah.
Las Vegas.
This
Yeah,
looks like a brand. So that's how you could really elevate anything with the
I'm
right
telling
art
you,
and the right
putting the
blanks.
right investment into the right item changes everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because honestly, you can walk around a trade show and they'll give you stuff for free. You're not going to keep it probably. It probably ends up in a bag in the back of your truck. Where if someone gave you something really nice, you'd be like, oh my gosh, like, I'm going to keep this.
And I feel this right now. This is nice.
It.
This is awesome. And
AS Color has been making some incredible merch.
They're killing it. They're crushing it. AS Color
for us,
for sure.
It always starts with screen printing. I mean, we're doing it for church merch.
This is another screen print.
Yeah, this is iconic. We did a print run for McLaren in Newport Beach, which was awesome. This was for their anniversary Le Mans car. 30th anniversary. We did a really cool, just halftone graphic back print, really simple. There's actually nothing special about this, just a standard screen print on a really nice shirt. But what makes it really cool is going with like a very nice gray. It almost looks 3M, but it's just a standard gray print.
It almost looks like it's reflective, but it's just a standard
it's just
gray.
a real clean gray print. And then the icing on the cake is always the custom branding.
Guys, you guys are seeing all these little details, and in a little bit, we're going to take you guys behind the shot to show you how all of this works. So make sure you guys are dropping your questions. If you guys are watching us on the live right now, drop your questions because we're going to be diving into some of the nitty gritty. So if you have a brand right now, this is your time to ask it. Austin's been in the game for at least 2009, 2010,
50 years.
30,
I look
50
really
years.
good for 60 years old, you know? I look really good.
So then, so obviously, like when it comes to, there's a lot of different applications, right? So we got heat transfers. You can, because some of the things you're not going to be able to screen print on.
Especially this, like a really nice windbreaker. We did this for NFL Flag. This was a big event for them. And so, you know, it's NFL, it's the logo, it's the trademark. Like the small details had to be perfect. And to put that on a windbreaker where, man, it's so easy to scorch the fabric if you're screen printing it and sending it through the conveyor. We partnered with Supercolor, who we love their transfers, and I mean, it went on. It looks like you would buy this right at the mall.
It is. This is high quality, and then you have some embossed. You said, right? So this is an embossed McLaren hoodie, Lamborghini. Check that out. This is actually some really cool detail. So I've always seen this. And this is cool that you guys do it here locally.
Our process is a little bit different than traditional emboss. We actually do a emboss embroidery. So we actually use all the same fundamentals from embroidery, like the puff print. We just put it in the back, and we pull the embroidery really tight, which gives like a 3D tone-on-tone look.
Yeah, this is sick.
And it's subtle, but it's also... What I want, every time I go to the mall, I'm always like, my wife can't take me to the mall because I'm touching everything. She's like, leave it alone. But what I realize is most cool brands don't have 1,000 colors. Like they don't even have 3 or 4 colors. It's usually one color, and this gets even better where it's tone on tone. It's no colors. It's just a little bit of dynamic. But with these kind of items, the wearability is going to last forever. You could throw this on and wear it with literally any color shoes, any color anything, because it's just simple and clean.
And the branding's there, obviously. If you got a McLaren, hoodie, people are like, yo, you got money, But then it looks like money. This actually feels like money. It feels buttery. Like what blank is this? This is an
AS Color. Yeah,
it feels
so
like an
when
AS
we
Color.
first started working with McLaren in Newport Beach, they had pretty boring merch, I'll be honest, because they got the coolest cars in the merch. And so when I saw that, I was like, guys, please, I bugged them for a month. Let me do your merch. I want to, and we just kept elevating it over and over because it really is about the feel. And if if it hits the mark for a high-end brand like that, then how amazing does it feel when someone's launching their brand and they get that same feel? Because that's what we're all searching for.
A lot of times people watching are always like, what's the best blank? Which one should I use to develop my brand? And a lot of times somebody will either say, well, but AS Color is a little bit too expensive. The hoodie might be double the price of what I could get with this other brand, right? It is a higher cost, but then when you actually feel it and see it and you wear it and your customers use it, they're going to want to wear it, which means that your brand is getting more visibility. So it also depends on how much you want people to wear your clothes, right? If it's going to be washed and it feels all itchy afterwards, like you might have only got 10 impressions, them and their family members twice before they throw it in the trash. So make sure you guys are investing into the right blanks because it makes a big difference.
Well, I would also say we don't just work with clothing brands. We work with a lot of businesses. And when it comes to businesses, especially around the holidays or more high-end stuff, if it's a business and they have a big customer, maybe the customer spent 30 or 50 or 100 or $1 million with them this year. We're talking about large corporations. They don't want to send their customer something cheap. Like we work with a lot of high-end. We had a guy in the shop today. Their construction company does over $200 million a year. And he's like, there's no way I can give my guys just like basic cheap stuff. They worked really hard for the whole year. So they went with Carhartt, they went the whole area. And we see that people that like care about value, you'll spend the money because you know it's going to last longer. You won't have to buy 3 times as many hoodies. Also, the people receiving it they feel appreciated because you spent the money on it. So it really helps with value. It goes a long way.
Incredible.
And then one of my favorite things that we had in here too is just showing the importance of how cool a one-color print can look.
This is clean, especially if you do it the right way, right?
Yeah, a one-color print. Sometimes you don't even need anything special. Just a cool one-color screen print. It was printed with kind of large halftones on a really nice blank. But really, I mean, less is more. I think so much more. So I mean, I love this. Is a cool company that makes snowboards, and they just did. I mean, they've invested into a nice quality hoodie. They did their own custom label on it, which was really cool. But label, print, done. All of a sudden, it went from an off-the-shelf blank to a high-end item. And these will be in retail stores across in different malls and skate shops, which
Incredible.
is really, really cool.
Amazing. Guys, we're seeing some of you guys joining the chat. Haley, thank you for joining us. Dre Day, we got Sophia, Miriam. Get Plus, that hoodie is money. We got Sophia Goodwin. Yes, guys, this is actually a live print shop. They're located in Las Vegas, and if you're just joining the live, we got a $5,000 giveaway that's going to be announced at the end of this video. So make sure you guys are sticking around to the end of this video, and you're dropping your questions. We're tacking on another $5K in that prize pool. Ours is open to everybody in the U.S. A live print shop has a little bit of details that they're going to be sharing towards the end, so just make sure you guys are sticking around for that. And obviously, the blanks, the print methods, the ability for you to choose the right products to launch a successful brand is everything, right?
Absolutely.
So when it comes to some of your top performing brands, the brands that come back time and time again, what are some of the things that you're seeing them do extremely well that others just kind of disregard?
I mean, the biggest thing is preparation and planning. The number one thing that makes orders go faster with us is when we get a single email and the client goes, here's the item I want, here's the color I want, here's my sizes, here's my art file, here's the dimension I wanted it. And so obviously that takes work. It takes time to pick out a blank. It takes time to think about. But on the other hand, we get customers go, hey, here's my logo, put it on the shirt. And I'm like, this big, this big, this big? Like, do you want it 1 inch tall, 10 inch tall? And then like there's a reason why dimensions, and inches exist, is so that we know. And so when we see customers that send us tech packs and they go, here's the logo, here's the Pantone color, we know exactly what they want. And that's our biggest struggle, is that we never want to be in the middle of a production run when like, I think the customer is going to like it, I think it's going to turn out good. When the decisions are made up front, no one else makes the decision for you. And if you don't make the decision, someone else will make the decision for you.
Yep.
If you don't say how wide, how tall, someone in the art department or someone along the way, or your account manager.
This looks about 6
good,
foot 5.
Yeah. But on the other hand, I love working with customers that are picky. I love when a customer goes, I want it 2.35 inch wide. And you go, that's crazy, but I love it because now we'll know where the spacing, because one thing that we've seen is you can have the perfect garment. You can have the perfect design. If you print it the wrong size or in the wrong location, if it's sitting up here or it's down on your belly, it ruins everything. So placement matters and scale matters. And it's hard when everything's done on, in ChatGPT or on Canva and it's all digital.
It looks good on the digital format, but when it comes to the real product, it doesn't apply.
That's why I always tell everyone, I'm like, you already have a shirt or a hoodie in your closet. Take it off the shelf.
Measure it up.
Yeah, lay it on your desk or your bed and measure it. And also find a design that you love and measure what it is. Sometimes everyone loves a skillet. I want it 20 inches tall and 30 inches, wide or whatever. But then they look at my favorite brand and they go, oh, that's only 9 inches. But it looks so good. Or it's only 12 inches tall. So taking your design and then also comparing it to real world examples will take your whole design and concept and brand building to the next level.
Incredible. Guys, so now that you guys have a little bit of background, right, we've been talking about the different print methods. We've also been announcing that there's going to be an awesome giveaway, so make sure you guys are sticking around. Now I want to take you guys to the back. This is where the magic happens, all right? So let's drop your questions in the chat. We're going to be going through. So we're going to start with the heat pressing, right? This is like the easiest form for you guys to get in the game, right? So heat pressing with heat transfers is the easiest way to print either dual color, multicolor, single color. What this actually does really well with heat transfers is that it allows you to print on other products that would typically be very difficult to mass produce with like screen printing, right? So I think you have a couple examples here, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
windbreakers and
Windbreakers are fantastic. Anything dry fit is phenomenal. I mean, there's a few reasons why we'll go with heat transfers. Number one, check out just the color blend. When you get into color gradients, screen printing can do it, but it definitely can have some challenges with the halftones and the number of colors. And so when it's like that, especially when it's a full color gradient on a windbreaker, heat transfer is fantastic. And so, you know, in the beginning when heat transfer started coming out, we kind of had a typical shop reaction of, oh no, we're screen printers, oh, we're embroiders. But we started realizing that all these processes are just different tools, and there's a right way to use it. On one hand, I will almost never use a heat transfer on like a garment dyed heavyweight shirt, because the transfer is all shiny, the garment dye has this dry look, and they just clash. But man, you throw a good transfer on a windbreaker, an umbrella, a dry fit shirt, a lunchbox, you know, even something small in like a soft shell jacket, it's perfect.
Okay.
And you're also seeing a lot of brands like Travis Matthews and Nike switch from an embroidery to a heat transfer. Just because it works really well on high quality golf apparel as well.
Most definitely. And the way that heat transfers work, guys, is pretty similar to the heat presses that, obviously these are like the high-end heat presses. These are like the Lamborghinis of heat transfers. They're automatic, they're pressurized, so you get the right consistency. And that really is the key to doing a good heat press, is to have that consistency if you're gonna be doing production. So if you guys are working at it from home, sometimes you get the inconsistencies, and a lot of times it's because your pressure wasn't right, your temperature wasn't right. So the heat press makes a huge difference. As long as you're getting consistency there, it comes out great. Come check out Austin, he's actually doing it in real time right here. He preheated the fabric, so that way it's the...
Especially when you get into like a windbreaker or a soft shell, you gotta preheat it. It just gets all the wrinkles and everything out of it. But you know what you said is right. For the first 3 or 4 years when we did heat transfers, I would go and see a $299 heat clamshell. I'm like, why would anyone ever spend $2,000 on a heat transfer? But we always had problems. Even just sticking a simple vinyl letter, we always had problems. And so we finally upgraded to pneumatic and everything. And it's multiple things. One, it takes care of our employees. They're not, you know, moving their shoulder and their elbow all the time, but also the quality it's so much better. And I love when they swing out of the way too, because on the old clamshell, man, your fingers are always in the way. You're in the way dealing with it. And when the whole machine swings out of the way, save your fingers, takes care of the garment, and also just allows for a lot of really good printing. Pull that off real quick. Oh, that's so clean. Yeah, really, really clean. Right on like a soft shell windbreaker type. Goes on so great. I love this too, because a lot of times people say a heat transfer is really heavy. That's really only if you put a giant solid square. But when you have individual elements like this, it goes on so smooth, feels completely lightweight, and it will actually, you don't feel anything in the print.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's really the way to go.
Awesome. So let's take a quick pan of this location just so they can kind of see. We're going to be walking you guys through it. We're going to do a quick Q&A while we're here. We're going to answer some of your guys' questions. Austin, you want to come over maybe on this side so you guys can all see it here? And so they obviously have all of these different screen prints, these screen printing machines. This is just one little aspect of what they're doing. We're diving into a couple different things here. One of the questions they had is how many machines in there? How many machines? I guess it depends on what you're doing, right?
Yeah, with heat press, we have like 5 main machines.
Let's bring it over this way with that in the background. Yeah.
We've got 5 machines in heat press, 2 for flats, 2 for hats. And then Supercolor actually sent us one of their auto ones.
Yeah, that one's pretty
cool.
cool.
When we're running that, just like on a standard t-shirt, we can run 300 to 500 shirts an hour, which is fantastic.
Incredible.
A lot of times we use heat transfers for more specialty stuff, like a windbreaker or a weird placement. But when it's something basic, like a full color image, we can do a lot.
And this is all just running on auto. Like, this is so clean. This is one of like the cleanest shops in Vegas for sure, and high volume. So, so that was one. They also say, do you embroidery windbreakers too? Is that something that you guys typically do?
Yeah, we do. A lot of the times it just comes down to the design. It comes down to the look. The only issue with embroidery is I love embroidery for the right application, but when you have really small text, that's embroidery's hardest problem. Like if you have a bold icon or something, embroidery is fantastic. But when this has all these lines of small text, and when the text is actually a specific branded font, like when it says Microsoft or it says this in their font, sometimes embroidery will lose the actual
detail.
font and the detail. So that's where heat transfer would be great. But we've embroidered windbreakers, we've done heat transfers, we've done patches, heat applied, we've done a leather patch, which I think looks totally wrong on a windbreaker. But I mean, a lot of times it depends on just the right concept. It can all come together.
Makes sense, guys. So that's a great point. You want to make sure that, you know, you might want to do a certain application on a certain product. And that really is where your, like, the relationship that you have with the manufacturer really comes into play. So that manufacturer can actually give you the better application method, right?
Absolutely.
Whereas if you're just working with somebody that's looking to just make a quick buck, they'll be like, yeah, I'll make it for you. They deliver it to you, it looks like trash. You don't know any better because it's your first time maybe placing a bulk order. But the people that are asking you questions and asking you, hey, what do you intend to use this for? And they offer advice and they say, hey, maybe you should consider this. Those are the print shops that they're not just looking to make a buck off you, they are looking to elevate what you're trying to do. So to his point, sometimes if you're doing a windbreaker, that's real stitches going into the fabric, and windbreakers is a nylon material, so it actually it's putting
puncturing
holes.
it, yeah.
It's making holes in it.
I mean, not that you're going to get soaked on the
Right,
embroidery,
right.
but it is defeating the purpose a little bit.
Of a windbreaker,
But I do talk to our sales team about this a lot, is, hey, this might be someone's first time, or they haven't ordered in a year. We do this all day long. Like, our job and our responsibility is to give good feedback, is to say, hey, well, this might not turn out great. What about this? Or recommendations, or having alternatives. And that matters a lot, because if we want the customer to grow and we want them to spend money with us over the long haul, we got to make great recommendations.
Most definitely. So as a brand owner, you're not supposed to be a production expert, right?
Absolutely.
Like, they don't expect you to be a production expert, and nobody should. But you should know just enough to really get your hands and ask the right questions. So that's what the whole purpose of this live is for, guys. So we got Jaybird, we have who else? We had Dre Day. How many different? We already talked about productions. Are there shops of this quality that do POD and ship? That's Shayla. We got Greg Jones. Thanks for coming on the live. We're gonna be diving into a lot of your questions, and right now I wanna run a poll actually. How many of you guys are currently either doing print on demand, and how many of you guys have already done your first production run in a shop like this? We're gonna add that as a poll question right now. Vote on that poll. We want to see what the mix is here. Are you currently doing print on demand? Have you already done your first production run? And if you haven't done either above, leave a comment to let us know a question that you have about it. So right back here is obviously the screen printing, but before it gets screen printed, it starts, you know, we talked about art earlier.
Absolutely,
so it's about prepping your art for the screens, right?
Absolutely.
So you have a screen room.
This is the most important room probably in our whole facility.
Okay. You guys are going to check out some really cool stuff back here. Like, this is, says, watch. That right there, you can slip.
I told my kids this is where we keep the dinosaurs.
You can slip.
Come on in. Woo.
This is where the magic starts. All right.
This was my dream dark room when we first started, because when we started our whole print shop, man, we had a little bathroom and we had screens in there and we had washing out literally into a toilet.
Yep.
Like, it was rough. And when we built this building, there was a few things we wanted. One, we wanted to have a full automatic reclaiming system, because when the screens are done, we wanted to wash them out, make it super clean. Also really care about the waste and everything. We've gone through every single
Let's
time.
walk through this a little bit. So obviously this room is actually a pretty big, this is one of the bigger screen rooms I've seen. So like, you guys have a super clean setup.
Yeah.
And it's, you typically at a bunch of shops is just in a bathroom, like you said.
That's how we started, man. Just literally, just a lot of people, you take the sink out and you just put a sink like this, and that worked for years. But it's not just about that. It's also about taking care of like the environment, and caring about your water and your waste, and making sure the product that you make, it makes a really like a positive impact. So that's why we spent the money, went really big on the reclaim system. Not only have we passed every single environmental, our guy from North Las Vegas has come by and even said, can I bring people through and show
them what the right way is?
When you have multiple layers of filters and you take care of everything. And this is
awesome.
it. I mean, this room is packed because we have tons of racks full of screens everywhere.
So this right here is a screen that is going to be reclaimed or maybe getting ready. So this is somebody's design, maybe a portion of the design, right?
A portion of the design. We know what order number it comes from the customer. We know what Pantone. This is 7533C.
So the color.
So we actually put the Pantone color in every screen. So when our guys are prepping a job, they make sure the right ink goes in. So that is such a huge deal, to make sure your print gets the right color.
So when it comes to making actual screens, depending on how many colors you have, there's going to be different screens for each color, which is why there's a per screen fee, right? Exactly. Every screen print has a per fee screen. They got to make a screen, maybe this is in blue, the next part of your art may be in red and yellow and green, right? So if you got a 5-color design, you got 5 of these screens that need to be laid out on the machine with actual ink, right? So it's a longer process to make that one garment. So that's why typically a lot of times for new brand owners, even like Supreme for instance, they started with just a simple box logo tee, right? It was 2-color design, red and white. So the simpler you can make it, but then really brand it with the right blank, can go a long way. So every screen needs to be made and it needs to be ready for you, for the machine and operator to print on. And then this machine here is essentially like an actual cleaning station, right? This is
just a pressure washer and a big
pressure washer.
Sink.
Yep.
That's usually when we're exposing the screens. But no, like you said, the cool thing is every one of our screens is on a rack. So this whole rack will go out to press, and we'll have this job, and every single. Like this is a really cool kind of skeleton.
Oh,
every single different
that's
color.
That's a lot of detail in that
we
one,
got
right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 color design, and every different version of those colors. The red one, the blue one, the green one. I mean, every single variation is a part of this. Cool thing is because we're in like the same price matrix every other shop did is. In January this year, we got rid of screen setups.
Okay.
We actually made this room so efficient, changed our whole structure, where no longer you're going to have a $30, something like this would have probably had a $240 screen setup. We got completely.
You got rid of it. Wow.
And just moved to a one price thing. So you have your price, that includes your print, your item, everything out the door, and you're not going to have big setup fees or things like that just make it really hard as a barrier of entry.
Right.
So, because we know sometimes some of the biggest customers, they start out small, so we want to make sure we can get them started.
That's cool.
Give them great products so they can sell it and do it.
That's actually legit. Like the fact that they're doing no screen setup and it's price out the door is a big deal, guys. Because when you are getting started, how many did you say that was? 6 different colors?
This one's 9 colors just on the back.
9 colors.
And then we've got 5 colors on the front.
That would have been like, wait, that would have been like, what?
We used to charge $15 to $20 each.
It's like $300 just to set up.
Just to set it up.
Before you even print a garment.
Before you even get started, before a single garment.
Dude, that's awesome, man.
And so part of it too is just the reclaim process. When screens are done, all it is a big car wash. Takes the screen all the way through, cleans it out to a brand new screen, and then we restart the process. So every screen gets burned in the actual burning room, right? So there's like a So the reason why this whole room is
green.
yellow.
Yeah. You guys are probably wondering, why is this a yellow room? Did he not change the LEDs? Why does he get with the times? Why is this room yellow?
So here we have blank screens. They have no design. Oh, this is still wet. Nice. We just coated them. These are going to sit here. And then one of the biggest upgrades we made, it was just going to a computer to screen, which means we got rid of transparencies.
Okay.
We got rid of hundreds of pounds of plastic every year.
That's crazy.
We just have to print them, and every design would keep a transparency and burn them, and it was so crazy. And so we did a big upgrade. Now everything is just stored in the computer. It's digitally printed.
Sick.
That was our first step of getting away from screen setup because we actually don't store screens. The old school way is shops would have, warehouses just full of everybody's designs. And we found out people usually only order the design once or twice. Sometimes they're always wanting new, fresh things. And so we made sure we had a really clean way to reclaim, and then everything went digital. Wow. This is the beauty of technology getting better, is you still get the same great quality, but now you're not having to carry so much overhead. Right,
because traditionally, guys, you would have to pay a per screen setup, right? But then you would be able to tell the print shop, hey, can you keep it for me? I'll print some more in 2 months or whatever. And then they'd have to store your screens in something like this. Yeah. But now you have a storage fee too. So you have to calculate that into the mix too. So
well, it's that too. And then, what we found in Vegas, we have 0% humidity. So the emulsion in the screens would crack over time. Yeah. So you really wouldn't want to use that design again a year from now.
But you still haven't answered the question as to why you haven't upgraded into LED lights. Is that a cheaper light too? Or?
Dude, this is actually a really nice LED. When we built this building, in 2020, we actually got hit with the brand new level of efficiency within North Las Vegas, and so everything is LED, and then we put a UV filter on all the lights.
That's to protect.
It protects all of this. This is technically exposing like a photograph.
Like a film.
This is like a dark room, but instead of it being a dark room with a red light, We just cut all the UV out. It looks cool. The weird thing, if you stay in here too long though, when you go out, you can't see colors for a few minutes.
Really?
Because your eye's not getting any UV, and you go out and everything kind of looks blue and
I feel
green.
like I'm wearing like the polarized shades right now, like the blue light filtering
yes,
shades.
it's probably a little bit hard to see on the camera, but when you go out of here, sometimes it takes a little bit for the color to come back to your eye. It's just because you're taking one of part of the light spectrum out of your eye. But it's really cool. Keeps everything secure, and then that way
Feels good in here too. It's nice and cold.
We had this room
humid.
AC'd because in
like
Vegas,
this.
when it's 120, you
I
got to
like
take
this,
care of
man.
your emulsion and your screens
Right.
and your equipment.
This is nice. I think this is where everybody hangs out in the summer. They just say, I'm gonna go hang out, make some screens.
This is the best room to work in the summer in Vegas.
All right, guys. If you're watching this right now, we're inside of a screen room. This is where your design process begins before it hits the actual floor and it gets screen printed. So we're going to be diving into the screen printing process in just a second. But I think this is a pretty cool area. We could probably take some questions if you guys are watching
what do
this
you got?
live right now. Drop your questions. So let's take a look at the poll that we dropped in there. We were asking some people in terms of what they're doing. Doing POD right now, just starting. Greg is also doing POD. Research on print on demand from Alpha Luna Beta. Alpha Luna Beta. It's interesting. Alpha
cool
Luna
name.
Beta, yeah. We got Stephanier. No setup fees is huge. I'm looking for a good, reliable manufacturing partner. Perfect timing. Dr. Dre. Perfect timing because you guys are watching this 5K giveaway announcement happening right at the end. But before we dive into that, we're going to be diving into a couple of the processes so you guys can really get hands-on.
Absolutely.
So drop your questions as we're coming through. All right.
After you,
Go.
come on through.
All right. So now you guys right here, so like you guys are actually seeing how it works, right? So the designs, as we were showing you guys in there, each color has a different screen. So I think I put my hand in there so it stopped. Huh? Did that have a sensor?
No,
Okay,
just
okay.
them. They're okay. But the cool thing about this over digital, and this was, I really like digital because it solves a lot of problems. But what I love about screen printing is, let me grab one of these cards, is when you're screen printing and you have a dedicated screen to one color, no matter what happens, when we're printing this color, this tan all day long, there's no chance of this tan changing colors. You know how in digital your red can get brighter red and darker red, and your blues and your yellows because you're printing, CMYK. With this, if we mix this Pantone and we run it all day, the color can never change. You're never gonna see the banding in digital. And so that's why I feel like, man, in a few years, there's gonna be some really cool technology to help take Pantone colors and then maybe compare, put it together with digital.
That would be
I'm
huge.
dreaming, I'm hoping
Yeah,
one day that would be amazing.
That would be huge. So this t-shirt design has a couple different screens, right? So it's got that. You guys will see the t-shirt real quick to see it coming around. So as soon as it changes belts, see, so it laid out the white. This one's laying out the gray. So this one here, depending on how many colors you have one for each. So at the end of the actual belt, you'll get the completed garment. So again, when you're looking at launching a brand and you're looking to elevate your perceived value, you also have to keep in mind the budget that you're working with, all right? So everybody has a budget. So if you're like, yo, I just want to go crazy and give the most color spectrum, it's gonna add up, guys. These are real costs that happen. As you guys can see, real printing happening, right? So the longer it takes to make a shirt, there's gonna be a price difference. So you should think about like, okay, how can I elevate the product beyond just adding a bunch of colors? Like colors might be one play, but is that really your customer's desire, right? So as you're thinking about your customer, your target audience, what are they willing to pay for? That's the first question you need to ask is, are they willing to pay for multiple colors because it's a Dia de los Muertos drop, right? And you got a Hispanic group that's gonna wear it, that's gonna love it, that's really just gonna rock that all season. And if they are, then that's a good investment, right? But if you're testing the waters and you're like, well, I think my audience would like this, and you're not sure, you might be paying a lot of money for something that isn't gonna sell. So it's very important that you understand your audience when you're launching mass production. And at the end over here, it goes to the actual belt, right? So it goes to the belt, then it gets cured, and it comes out the back over there, so we can actually check that out. So this is like a big oven, like a big pizza oven. There are some garments. That's the one we were just looking at.
But you know what? Sometimes all the colors do make it.
Oh yeah, this one is
This is an awesome print. These guys, Love working with these guys. They give away a car online every 2 to 3 months.
Really?
So
Wow.
Restomods is an incredible company. Maybe worked with them 7-8 years.
Wow.
And so yeah, they give away a classic car. They were just here at SEMA.
That's sick.
And sometimes you do need all the colors.
You do
need
need
all the
to,
details.
Especially for
and
that audience, like it's got to look.
It's got to be the right
look,
color
yeah.
and the right shirt. And so, but if you feel this is the next level suede shirt.
Oh, that's nice. I don't think I've seen this
They
one.
get so many compliments on just using this shirt. So once they started using the shirt, a lot of times you got to realize design is only half of it. How it fits and how it feels is everything. Because if you've ever had a shirt and it looks cool, but it's riding in your armpits and it's too short on you, you might love the design, but you're never putting it on again. You just know it. You know you're not. But when the shirt fits good, sometimes you wear that shirt 2 days in a row. You might not tell anybody, but that's always our goal. Is we say we want to make a shirt so good, your customer wears it 2-3 days in a row, and then, they almost feel guilty because they're like, where's that shirt? As soon as it comes out of the wash, that's what they want to put on.
Definitely.
That is a huge thing to think about.
And that is a big point to also consider. Like if you have a certain audience that is like, hey, these guys they're not fitting into a really tight shirt. Like they might be a little bit more heavy set, more muscular, right? You're looking for a shirt that will enhance their body type, right? That makes them feel good, because ultimately that's why we buy certain products.
Absolutely.
We wear it looks good, and it makes us feel good. So that's all determined by who your target audience is. So it's another point to keep in mind as you're developing products, whether it's print on demand or screen printing. Keep those things in mind.
Absolutely.
So from this, obviously this is the print process. We just saw where the screens are created. It comes over here. Now it's through the oven. What branding abilities do people have? So one of the questions was like, I want to do cut and sew, but I'm kind of limited because I don't think a print shop can do certain styles that I'm looking for.
You know what? I would say you might be surprised. I mean, there's over 3,000 to 4,000 SKUs that we can pull from Next Level, Bella Canvas, AS Color. I mean, there's so many cool brands out there. If you want the boxy cut or the fitted, that suede tee is really great because it's got a lot of body, but it's kind of a fitted arm, and it hits you right in the middle of your bicep, and it just makes you kind of look more fit. So Next Level does a great job on that. But one of the best brandings, and this is why I love Next Level and different brands that have tearaway tags, is we'll start with just a standard tearaway tag, and the reason why it's paper is it's supposed to be removed. When that gets pulled off, we'll end up screen printing the customer's logo, the wash instructions, the size, and now you just skipped not only the time of custom cut and sew, you skipped the cost. It could take weeks and weeks, months sometimes to do cut and sew, and it can cost a lot of money, and you're stuck with a limited run, where you can take all of these, and this is where we do really good at is there's so much available good products that fits and colors. We take off the shelf finished goods,
and we
add the
customize
branding,
it,
we add the branding, and then we have some customers, they actually only order their neck label.
Oh,
they
wow.
actually sell a quality blank.
Just a quality blank with the next label, yep.
And it's actually just a really good quality tee, and they sell it as their brand. And so there's a lot of great things you can do for literally pennies.
I would really, so to the person that commented that, I want to say it was Jay, but that was a really good comment that you left, and I wanted to answer it because when it comes to cut and sew, a lot of times people want to go above, overseas and do a custom cut of a t-shirt. But a lot of times it might be available in a blank. So by reaching out to somebody saying, hey, I want this style of cut, maybe it's a certain brand that you have.
Yeah.
A lot of the brands that you guys are following and love start with a blank, all right? They literally are on a blank. And then once they build out their sales, get a couple million, then they start to develop custom products. Because at the beginning, you don't know what's going to sell. So if you're trying to go into like a sportswear brand and look at performance fabrics, but you've never even sold a product yet, chances are you're not gonna do that well just because you have a good product. It's really about the branding and marketing, right? So how well can you position the brand, the product itself, by working with people that understand products and can see a certain brand and say, oh, you should be using, AS Color, or you should be using T-Style, or you should be using Shaka, or you should be using Next Level's, Suede. Like there's so many options. There's over 4,000 that you said.
There's so much, and the thing you got to realize, which is great, is they're in stock. They're literally one day ship away. There's so many colors, but also when you get in the cut and sew, you also you might be a large, so you put all this energy into the large fitting good. What about the medium? What about the small? What about the extra large?
You didn't size it right.
These brands spend so much time making sure the fit scales correctly, and that's what I actually admire a lot, because we see the quality when we're running hundreds or thousands of shirts. We'll see if the seam is consistent or if there's extra thread and everything, and there's a few really cool brands that spend a lot of time. LA Apparel does a great job. Stanley Stella is like the new brand that's doing great. AS Color does a fantastic job. These are awesome, all in a box, ready to go to Lamborghini in Newport Beach. This is kind of the ultimate branding. Excellent logo on a great heavyweight shirt. And because we wanted full color branding, we wanted the Italian stripes with the heat transfer.
So sick.
Really quality heat transfer. Also, what's beautiful about a heat transfer on the neck is it never bleeds through. So you never see the impression, and also you get full color.
And this looks premium, man. Like
this is
somebody sees this in the store or they buy it, they're like, yo, this actually feels nice. Like it feels like I bought it overseas, mass production. But it was made right here in Las Vegas at a live print shop. So guys, drop your questions. We're gonna answer a couple here. We have we got Luke Creates. Luke Creates, thanks for coming through. Would you recommend starting a brand and working with custom orders from consumers and businesses? Interesting question. Would you recommend starting a brand and working with custom orders from consumers and businesses?
I think that's a good question because I think in this industry there's two separate businesses you can run. If you're going to start a brand and it's your brand, make it all about your brand. If I were starting over, which my goal was to do a brand when I started, I should have never gotten in this part of the business, because if you're going to build the brand, spend the time in the marketing, the design, building content, lifestyle content, and really make it about the brand. I didn't know how to start, so I ended up getting into how do I print this myself and do this myself, and that's the production side. So a lot of times people say, I'm going to do it all. I'm going to print it, design it, produce it, things, and you go, big brands don't even do that all in-house. They have partners because you find which area you're good. So, but there is a great business with brokers in the industry where they go, hey, I'm going to find a great shop and they're going to produce the merch for me, and then I'm going to go out and do part of the business of just helping the customer, because that is one of the big gaps. And even us, we don't really get into design services because the creative design service is a little bit outside of our scope. We tell our customers, when your design's ready, bring it, and then we'll produce the garment. So there is a huge opportunity of clients, normal businesses that just need a little bit of help. If you learned this industry and had a great partner, you could funnel things through. That'd be an excellent business. And you could start it with no money up front because you wait till the customer pays you, and then you go order the merchandise, and then you deliver it on time, and you make money right there. That's a great opportunity.
Brokering services is a great way, especially by working with a good print shop that's available, and we'll give you good margins once you bring businesses in. Cool. So I'm looking at an ad on my own live stream. I hope you guys, Coinbase, not sponsored by Coinbase. All right, let's head on over to the next part. So the next part of this process, what I wanted to kind of dive into was, should we go this way?
Sneak around,
this way? So, so the next part of this that I wanted to talk about, guys, is the different, so we just showed you guys a little bit about how the neck labels work, and the next part is going to be how it actually gets printed. So we're coming in here, and they were running it a couple minutes ago, but he probably just finished up.
They're changing sizes.
Oh, they're changing sizes.
We have it all set up. But we actually,
okay. This is cool.
We
this
do
is cool
so much of this, because we actually dedicated one machine.
Look that up.
So we've got the 3X size, the 2X, the extra large. It's funny, we've thought about upgrading this machine so much, but what we love about it is it actually has side clamps, which allows us to push the screen in and out. All the new stuff is clamped from the front and back, so you can't slide.
Oh, so this allows you to change your size.
We've kept an old machine because we love it, because you can change your sizes quick, and then we changed the board to this nice little print area. So
that's cool.
We don't even turn the shirt inside out.
You just place it on? That's sick.
Print the size, send it down the conveyor, and that easy it goes from a blank to your own custom brand.
Incredible.
And if you're building a brand, I would say the 3 steps: start with a great blank that fits good, then add your logo on the inside neck, and then add your design to the front. Don't put it to the end of it, because one of the funnest things we've seen is a lot of times customers will actually spend a little bit of time on this, and they'll put really cool, funny stuff like inside the neck.
Like it's like those little points that's for your audience.
Exactly.
Like the customers will see it, be like, "Yo, that's funny."
Especially
that's
if you're an off-road company, say how you can use this shirt. You know what I mean? Like when you need to catch a fish in a stream, you take it off or use it. Like if you're, whatever the brand is, throw something funny in there. 80% of people may never read it, but the few people that find the Easter egg,
they'll connect.
Oh my gosh, Easter eggs is the funnest part about pretty merch.
Almost definitely. So this is where the actual sizes get made, guys. Similar process to screen printing. So they're literally they're taking out the tag. So that Bella canvas, that next level, that AS Color tag gets removed, and your custom branding gets applied. And over here, we just have a bunch of colors. So like all the paint. So
this is where all the magic.
So I actually need to paint my office. So is this the same paint
Be careful
that would work
touching.
for my office? Like, will I be able to apply this to the wall?
Here's what John's about to find out. All of these inks are still wet. So the bucket he just touched, this is the funny thing about Plastisol ink.
I just barely touched it, too.
Barely touched
I'm glad you told me to stop.
When my kids come here, one time my daughter, she was in the office, she came back, she goes, Dad, look, and she put each finger in a different bucket. These inks stay wet until they get cured at 285 to 300
so they never
degrees.
dry.
Never dry. We do put buckets on the lids on the bucket. It's really to keep the dust out. It's not really to keep it dry. These inks can last a long time. We'll get them, we'll remix them, get the oils going back, but it's phenomenal. And so once this actually goes into a big thing. There's a big difference between drying the ink and curing the ink. If you've ever had a shirt that cracks, that means the temperature, it dried, so the shop goes, oh, it's good, throw it out the door. But they didn't cure it, which takes a little bit longer, a little bit more temperature. And that's where the attention to detail goes, because the last thing you want is all of a sudden the print looked great, and you wash it, and it's cracked and faded, unless you intended it to look that way. So, but yeah, this is huge. We've got over 1,100 Pantones.
There's a bunch of the inks in here.
Yeah, come through. We actually just changed all of our racks. So everything's really organized. It's really clean.
It is a cool shot right here, man.
Our
check
guys
this
go
out.
through and check all of these colors.
Who's got the profile picture in here? Like, call me the ink mixer.
This is such a fun job too, because we have an excellent ink mixing system. So on the fly,
all of these are numbers of the Pantone.
That's the Pantone number
that they then mix up in the machine, right? Like, hey, what color do we want to get? Let's get 2140. Let's get 2130. Mix 10%, 15%.
Exactly. And here's the biggest thing that I would say, going back to building your brand. Identify what your brand color is. So many times, not even from smart startups to good-sized brands, they tell us, man, I've gone to 5 different shops and they just can't get my green right. They just can't get my yellow. And I go, well, what Pantone is it? And they go, what's that? And they go, well, it just needs to be this really color, specific shade of green. And we go,
it's like a highlighter green is what I'm going for.
Yeah, well, highlighter. I'm going to go, okay, first of all, you have to understand, like, red does not exist. Blue does not exist. There is specific shades and numbers for every single shade and color. And so we always, our joke within our team is red doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Do you want 485 red?
I mean, look at how many
185?
blues, how many purples. These are like greens, blues.
Especially when you get into the mint colors. I can think of a customer we've worked with for a long time. I walked into her business. Her shirts were one color, her poster was another color, her sign was another color, and I was like,
all supposed to be the same color?
They were all different colors, and I was like, do you know your Pantone color? And she's like, what's that? And I'm like, let me help you.
Right,
so a lot of times when we're going through the process, we'll help identify, or we found out sometimes you got to be careful. Customers call out the wrong Pantone. They have something in their mind, but they keep pulling out this Pantone they found on some website.
Oh, and it's not the right color.
And we find out, hey, you're not really calling the right Pantone. That's how, I'm telling you, some big brands.
Wow.
Big brands have made that mistake, and luckily our team of OCD neat freaks, we just go through and we go, hey, let's actually figure out what that color is. There's been times we've taken ink, rubbed it on a piece of cardboard, dried it, and shipped it in the mail to be like, this is what it's going to look like. And then what's really cool is we pair this with our threads.
Okay, so check this out, guys.
It's really, really important to take a thread and to match it up with the right blue. And then when you're doing some embroidery and some print, it's so on brand. And the thread color, the ink color, the shirt color, when they're all consistent.
So do you guys have all of these also over here, or how does that work?
We're pretty close. So that's where all the...
Interesting.
We'll have to sneak through, but yeah. Then
I'm
we have all of our embroidery
all
colors.
For embroidery too.
And so we like to use Madeira thread. Madeira does a great job where if we give them a Pantone number, they'll give us the closest thread color.
That's sick.
And most of the time it's really, really close. It's close enough that
they won't make a big. They won't see it.
Your eyeball wouldn't notice. I mean, it's a really, really great job.
And that really is a question that a lot of people usually have. Is like, what if I want to match my hat to my to my screen print, right? And like you have to know the right Pantone of the blue that you're going for, and then you got to place the order.
There's two important parts about that. No matter where you're going to order from, if you're going to order your shirt and your hat and you want them to match, first, tell your account manager you want them to match. That's the biggest thing. Like, let whoever you're working with, tell them I want these to match. Because sometimes if you present two files that aren't the same, and it's never stated, so we always like, hey, we're gonna ask you a million questions, and we want to know what you're thinking because we can't read your mind. Because it might seem so obvious to you, but unless you ever say it out loud, say I want this to match that. Say I want my shirts to be folded in a bag. Like, say everything so that way we know, because in
sometimes
a custom
people
business,
don't want
there's
it,
no
right?
automation.
Yeah,
Like, there's nothing for sure unless you tell us we're looking for this.
and the
That's a
reason
huge
for it is
thing.
because sometimes artistically somebody might not want it to match but look
Yeah.
kind of similar in the same range, so they're not mind readers and they're just doing what you pretty much instruct. So that's such a good point.
And always send reference photos. We had a customer that said, hey, I want a cool design. I want it this, and this the color. And I was thinking, those colors are going to look horrible together. And we're doing our best trying to build this design. And we're like, can you tell us? And they're like, you know the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air logo. I'm like, oh, it's all of a sudden we knew the reference, one edit, it was done. But without knowing, if I just told you the colors from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air logo, a bright green, a bright this, there's a million ways to have those colors combination and it won't even look like the reference because it's not just, it's the pattern, it's the order. And so always take photos, send reference emails. That's going to help any factory you're working with.
Guys, that's incredible advice, man. That's actually a lot of gems that he just dropped to you guys. Reference photos are key because that's ultimately what builds a consistent brand, right? So like by being consistent with how you're presenting your information, being consistent how you're presenting your colors, that's how you build signature collections and how some of the biggest brands are building signature collections. I also wanted to look at, I think you had something over here with like the way that some of the most successful brands, how they're actually planning their collections, right? So let's talk about some of the planning process. Right now, we'll also take your guys' Q&A, so drop some questions if you've been watching. In a few minutes, we're gonna be diving into the giveaway announcement. So I'm actually really excited about that, man. And so over here, my foot.
Look at the empty boxes. Well, but I would say when you're designing a brand, take a little bit of time and do a mood board. Like do a lookbook. Like, is this for like jet setters in a yacht and a plane? Like you want that, you know, that Tony Stark look? Like, is that your customer, or is it more streetwear? You know, and like you want to have graffiti, like whatever it is. Make a cool mood board. There's so many cool websites out there that'll help you do that. But that will help you narrow it down because, like, is it Monaco swim shorts, you know, or is it like, you know, a sportswear? So a mood board is huge. And then once we when a customer sends us a design, we make the most realistic mock-ups possible for every customer. And it's about the placement of the logo. It's about the colors. We'll even list if the customer has a certain barcode that needs to go on the garment. We'll show that their neck labels go on there. And what's really big, our team big deals this a lot, is making sure this is to scale. Because a lot of times people will download just generic cartoon looking t-shirts and they throw a logo on there. There's no dimensions, and the scale, how is that going to look on a small or 2X? It's very different. So we make everything on how it's going to look on a large.
That makes sense.
Across the board, and the placement, the scale. So we actually have grids in the background with Photoshop in a layer that we'll put on, and it's per inch. And we drag a design in, we can make sure we scale it to the exact size so that when you get it, it looks exactly like what you approved.
That makes sense.
That's a huge thing that we big deal all the time.
Big thing here, guys, is to make sure that as you're planning your collections, you're actually putting it into mock-ups and you're calling out the sizes, the placement, the PMS colors, the Pantone colors, right? Those are all things that you can need to prep before you go into production. Now, another thing that usually comes up in this process is also like, how far in advance should I be planning to work with a shop like this? Should I give them 5 days notice, 35 days notice? Like,
that's a great question. Our turnaround time is generally 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
That's from when your order is approved and paid until it gets delivered. 2 weeks. That's our production window. Anytime I love getting on the phone with my customers. I just start calling them. I go, hey, what's coming up around Christmas? And they're like, well, we know our Christmas party date. I'm like, great. I'm just here to find out because I know you're going to hit me up a day before the event or something. I go, we need 2 weeks to do this right. But I would say if you're going to work on a project, 3 weeks is a sweet spot. Take whatever the lead time is and add at least a week. Because if you email at 4 p.m. and the shop closes at 5, it might not get in the queue. You know what I mean? Just take into account the processing time from back and forth. There might be some questions. You know, a lot of times people send us a logo, but there's no dimensions, no Pantone, no layout, and we're doing a lot of guessing. And we're really good. We're like, hey, this is a standard placement. This is what it's going to look like. But I would say a week is great, up to 2 weeks. I don't think you need any more back and forth of 2 weeks, especially if you have a tech pack and you've got dimensions and Pantones. I think you could give a shop 3 days. If you're not getting a response back from your shop in 3 days, you need to go to a new shop.
To a new shop. So if you're prepared and they're not getting a response, go to a new shop. That's a good way to put it.
That's how we pick up more business than anything else. Is someone goes, hey, they're not answering the phone. Like, our rule in our office is answer your phone and get the order done on time, because communication is key. Communication with the account manager, with your team. A lot of times the customer just wants to know my email got received. I just want to know. If you can't get
Cool.
back till
Yep.
tomorrow, just let me know you got it.
Yep.
Just let me know that it's in production. Let me know where it is, if it's going to deliver on time, especially if my event's Friday and it's Wednesday. Just let me know. Like, that's the biggest thing.
Incredible. All right, so we got Dre, so take it to account. I love the detail with them. Where can you find true, so Sheila is asking, where can you find true Pantone colors to stay consistent? We think we do now, but not 100% sure. So
You ready? We're here.
My answer is not the digital form,
Not
but
the
the
digital form.
physical book.
The book, that's what I was going to say. It costs about $125. Spend the money. If you're going to take this real, as a brand, if you're going to really care about it, you got to get the Pantone book. You can buy it on Pantone.com. It's going to cost between $120 to $250, but it will have every actual swatch, and that's how the ink is going to look dried. So that's a really, really big deal.
It's
That's
huge
the money.
deal. Huge
have
deal,
that next
guys.
to your computer.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
one of our designers, if they're in-house or if they're remote, they have a Pantone book, because even your computer is going to throw off the shade.
Different shades from a
The lighting in your
MacBook
office
to your
is going to throw off the shade. So have a Pantone book.
Pantone book is the key. All right, then we got we got another one. They asked, how does fulfillment work when selling and shipping products using a print shop like this?
Yeah, that's a great question, because we have we have a beta fulfillment project that we're working with a few consistent customers. Really, we look for a customer that has a customer base. They're moving, a decent amount of product. We'll actually store and fulfill orders for very beta. We don't have much space, so we're still testing that out. Most of the time what happens is we take the order, we finish it, and we ship the whole order to you, and then you take care of the fulfillment. And that usually happens two ways. Either people do it at their home or in their office, or they partner up with a fulfillment center. I would always say in the beginning, start in your office, start in your back spare bedroom, because here's one of the beautiful benefits of being small. You get to touch every one of your orders. If you're a small brand and you're only doing 5 orders a week or 10 orders a week, write them a handwritten note. Put some love into it. The beauty of when you're small is you're small. So take the time. Big brands will never do that.
Nope.
They can't put that love into it. So wherever you are, from small to big, take advantage of the place you are and use it for your benefit. And ship it yourself with UPS or FedEx. And I would say once you want to probably hit about 100 orders a month, that's when you'd look at probably doing a fulfillment partner.
Because the fulfillment partner is going to be charging you storage fees, right? So you're going to be paying per space, and it's usually between like a cubic, meter, and they're charging you based on that. So every month you're going to get charged, and then you're also going to get charged to pick and to pack and to ship. So there's added fees there. You're gonna have to calculate that. Like Austin said, once you get a good 100 orders a month, it's a good time to move into a fulfillment center. That's also why sometimes people actually end up just getting an office space in a warehouse, because
storage unit.
The storage unit, they're able to keep their orders there and ship as they go, and it's more organized in a bedroom. But starting in a bedroom is a good place to start, or
really
in your
good.
garage, and then moving up from there. And then once you get good volume, if you want to work it more remotely, you don't want to touch the product, then a fulfillment center and a fulfillment partner is a good play. And then over here is just pretty much all of the orders that are getting in the queue that you guys are going to get started
This is
on.
all for tomorrow. So this will all be printed, done. They'll probably keep adding throughout the day.
Nice.
Everything from shirts, hoodies, long sleeves, sweatpants. All these brands are prepped, ready to go. We big deal labeling. We tape on. Everything's got a clipboard or a template. Because we have to know, when you got this many sets of black shirts, you got to know which ones for which order. That's a huge thing, and we just big deal the small things.
Right.
That's really what made us a successful print shop over the last 18 years. Is we've messed everything up in one way or form, and we learn from it. And we big deal the small things. The process makes a big difference.
So we literally we've been doing the stream, and we've been talking so well, we've been flowing so nicely that the shop is closing.
We missed the embroidery.
So we missed the embroidery part. I wanted to show you guys, but embroidery is pretty simple-ish. I mean, you guys get pretty creative. Like, I know this is probably a test, right?
We got some
this is a crazy letter.
Also, this is
blocking.
that reverse embossed. So if you feel it, it's really chunky. When this goes on a navy hoodie with navy print, it's so subtle, but it's so nice. It's a really good process.
They're testing different, your art onto different garments to see how it's coming.
I would say this is one of my favorite things, because we do custom hem tags. When you're going to take the time and you love your brand, you have fun, have fun with it. And so with this brand, they had an Easter egg. So their cat is on the bottom of every single item. It's got Jingles the cat. And I love working with this brand because they constantly they're a YouTuber, and they have a following, and everybody knows their jokes and their things, and they constantly take all of those fun things and they sneak it in as Easter eggs into their brand.
That's cool.
That's why someone wants to buy your shirt, not just because it's a cool logo, but because they like what you're doing. That's the best part.
It's those hidden little Easter eggs that make a huge difference, guys. When somebody wears a product, like I know some of the products that I love and brands that I buy from the community, because I always love shopping through people that create dope things through the content that we make. I love when you guys put details into it, whether it's the tag on the inside, like stop complaining, or don't be a, like shit like that. I love it, man. I'm like, oh yeah, it's a daily reminder to not do that.
There's a lot of cool brands I've seen, even on the bottom of the the hem, they'll put a little message in, and like, I think those are great. Like, that's what makes it not feel like some corporate brand. Make it feel like you. Like, that's what people really want to buy.
And it's a good way to do it with labeling, like little branded labels that you can put on the hem or on the actual t-shirt here. And then you got this machine. We're going to try to show it, but obviously we're out. But this machine makes it all possible, right?
Yeah,
That's what does the...
It's really awesome when it's all turned on. We'll give you the little short part. But yeah, we'll slide it in. It will actually clamp down, grab it, and it'll sew the same 1-inch sew every single time. Really big, and we started investing in machines like this because when you're putting a hem tag on, it can't change on each one. It can't be crooked on some, and so we actually had a special foot made that grabs it and does the same sew over and over and over. And what makes that little, it's got a perfect little foot in there, and it sews this on perfectly, no extra thread, like nothing. I mean, it's perfect. And then when we take care of the hard part, it makes the fun part really fun, because like you get it, make it about the Easter egg and all the fun stuff. And we do that on stacks and stacks. All of this stuff is ready to get hem tags. So it already got the neck label.
So it's got
this
the
was
neck
a shirt
label
we saw
it.
printed.
Right.
Already got the neck label.
This one's getting some tags already.
Yep. So this is all the same brand. And the last step is we put the little hem tag on. Some will get it on a hem tag. Some will get it just as a square, just embroidered on.
This is really cool to see, because we saw this being made right at the beginning, and now these actually have the tags on. This one's going to get ready, right?
Yeah, this is getting ready. I know this one actually already has it. There you go.
Oh, does it? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, they already put tags on.
So you guys saw how the screen was being made, and now how that really elevates it with that little tagging there. Like, this is what makes it. I would assume this is like a $40 or $50 shirt.
This is what takes it from I think the suede tee is not a cheap blank.
Right, no,
it's probably $6-7 blank. Right. It takes it to a $35 t-shirt.
Yeah, easily.
So the neck level. And here's the funnest part, is if you're just starting out.
This feels nice. This feels really nice.
I want all your friends and family to be like, holy crap, do you own a factory? Like, everything's done. I want it to blow their mind. Like, I knew you were going to do a drop, but we didn't expect it to be that good.
Yeah.
That's why the benefit of having great partners is like, you're getting 18 years of experience on your first drop.
Yeah.
You're getting all of that time and equipment and money and a few $1 million worth of equipment, time, staff, energy, all comes down into your first product, and it doesn't look like your first product because it's not our first product.
No, you've made it look legit, and
that's always the goal, man.
That little label is like a nice kiss.
It's such a good thing, especially. I mean, you can't get over the jingles because
the little Easter egg there.
It's so fun. So hide Easter eggs in there all the time.
Okay, and back here reminded me as we were talking. We have a bunch of different blanks. So obviously these are all the blanks that are coming in for orders. So you guys are ordering.
Yeah, we keep nothing
production.
In stock.
Right.
This is all orders that will be printed in the next 2 weeks.
Okay, so then that leads us to the question that some of you guys may have. What is the best blank for my brand?
Ooh,
and
that's such a hard question.
How do you usually consult people to say, this is the blank companies you should maybe order some samples from, or come into the shop and I want to point you in these directions?
My first question is, what is it for? I always ask everybody, if it's a company, an event, a clothing brand, a school, I always ask, what's this for? And then I always ask them, what do you envision? If you were to wave a magic wand, what would you envision? And they're like, well, it's going to have a cool boxy cut, or man, it's just going to be so soft. And then honestly, from those questions, I can usually narrow down, and then I'll introduce really cool brands. Like, this is a really cool dye wash from Lane 7. And what's really cool is when you get into some of these like vintage wash, it literally has a tag that says every one of the wash is unique, because these are, in tumble dry washes with stones and different acids and all this stuff, and the shades will change. But when you want that vintage rock and roll shirt, like a vintage concert tee, you can't. Like the mineral wash tee from Lane 7 is fantastic. It looks like it's 30 years old. It looks like that favorite. But if you want kind of a heavier weight fit, man, you get into AS Color or even Shaka Wear, T-Style, some of these ones. And I'll tell you one thing is, the reason why there's so many options is because everybody has preference.
Everybody has a different need.
There's not a good or a bad. It's sometimes just find what you like and be so pumped about your product, other people, the right people will connect. I do see one of the mistakes I would say is when someone starts a brand, they don't put any emphasis on what they like, and they're like, well, what does John like? What does this guy like? What does that friend like? And it's like, who cares? Do what you want. Do the very best of what you want, and you'll attract the people that have that same interest. And when you're so excited about your brand,
you're excited to talk about it.
Yeah, you'll be excited. And so if you're just doing it to make someone else happy, give up. Like, that's it. Make what you want to make.
That's incredible. That's great advice. So, bunch of different options, guys.
So much, yeah.
There's not one size fits all blank. I always get that question. What do you think is the best blank brand? Like, and I always have to ask, what are you using it for, and what are you intending to profit, right? Like, what price point are you looking to hit? If you're trying to sell a $70, $80 tee, like, it's got to feel like a $70 to $80 blank. Yes. And that's where the heavier weight blanks come in. That's where the AS colors, some of like the premium tee styled, like those can help you command those prices. So
I'd say also think about the season shift. In the middle of the summer and 120 degrees in Vegas, give me the softest, thinnest tri-blend, next level shirt that's so thin. When we start hitting the winter, I want a heavyweight shirt. I want something that's got some weight, that's a little warm. And so take into account the season. I mean, that's why every collection is a season, because everything changes. Like the summer stuff is not going to work.
That's true.
The sleeveless tank top is not going to work when it's 20 degrees outside.
That's a very good point.
No one's buying hoodies in the summer. So take into account the season.
I wouldn't say this guy wore his hoodie in the summer.
He did wear a hoodie. Did you wear it all summer? Some people are built different. They run cold.
It depends on who your market is, right? Some people love to wear fleece and heavyweight products all year, and they'll just sweat it out.
That's crazy.
And that's nuts, man. I can't understand it.
I see guys wearing beanies in the summer. I'm like, you're different. You're built different.
Awesome, cool. So not all blanks are made the same, and your customer dictates ultimately which blank you should look into. And by working with a print shop like Alive, they can help you determine what styles or what cuts or what options you do have available that are ready to ship almost next day.
Absolutely.
And that's the cool part of being somewhere on the West Coast or even in Vegas, or if you're on the East Coast, you should be looking for manufacturers that will be able to bring your products in quicker, right? So 1-day shipping or 2-day shipping from the manufacturer blank to the actual print shop. That helps kind of bring your turnaround a little bit quicker. But don't just rely on that. You also want to make sure that you're giving at least 2 weeks of development, right, of the actual product being manufactured and made. So don't expect it to launch on Monday if it's Thursday, right? Like, or you could if they pay you extra, right? You guys might.
So we've done our fastest turnaround was about 4,000 shirts in 24 hours. That was insane, and it just the customer already had the shirt, so we just started and we turned everything off, and they paid a premium. Like I almost feel guilty about it, but then I don't because I stayed here till 3 in the morning, so I don't feel guilty about it. But no, plan accordingly. The amount of time you cut down, especially like we do rush fees. And a lot of times, part of the rush fee is because we're having to expedite items. We're having to pay staff to work overtime. But other part of the rush fee is the chaos that
causes on production.
We have to stop and move and change things or do after hours, and it really, planning to fail. That's what you're doing. If you don't plan right, then you're planning to fail.
Incredible. Guys, so now we're going to bring it back inside. We want to start the actual giveaway announcement. So if you guys are watching this right now, you're watching it on the live stream, drop your questions in the chat because we're going to be going through a Q&A towards the end of this, but I also want to make sure I announce the live stream, the entry. We're going to be linking it in the chat as well. So we got somebody there that's going to be a member of our team is going to be linking that giveaway details as well as the links to where you enter. So if you guys are watching this right now, make sure you guys are sticking around because we're going to dive into a little bit of a Q&A here with the man Austin. A big part is obviously like a question I had for him when I first met him is like, how'd you get started in this, right? And then I remembered I had met him back in the day, so like it's kind of a crazy world. And you guys are getting a behind the scenes look. Print shop is obviously closed, so we came in here right before closing, and now we're gonna close this out with you guys and give you guys a really cool offer that you guys don't want to miss out on. So come on through and let's talk some shop and some details here. Put it here, you can put it over there. Oh, all right, guys. Wow, this has been a really cool live to start off, man. This has been incredible. All right, you guys. So now we have. So drop your questions in the chat. Make sure you guys are. Do you use Pantone in printing your brand? We had 75% of you guys said yes, you're already doing some Pantone colors, while the others said no. So kind of cool. Come on through. Come on through.
How you doing? You picking up?
We're actually in the front of the office here. Oh, is he picking up an order?
I just realized I'm on a mic. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Feels gonna jump in to help.
Come on through.
This is a live shop.
Yeah, it's a live shop. Awesome, guys. So we're going to be diving into your Q&As right now. So make sure you guys are dropping those in the chat. We're going to be expanding on what we just shared. If you're just joining this live stream, the whole purpose of it was to take you behind the scenes and show you guys how brands that are killing it are building signature collections. A signature collection is essentially a collection that's easier to maintain and can scale, right? There's limited time drops and limited time availability that might be cut and sew manufacturing. But when you get into the signature collection, it's something that you can do locally. It's something that you could turn around with a print shop like this. And every brand has a manufacturing partner that can go into the details and actually enhance that signature collection. So the whole point of this live stream was to show you guys how every part of the production process matters and can help your brand either look like it just launched with, DIY to, wow, I'm competing with the biggest brands out there in streetwear and I'm killing it because I have a great partner. So to expand on that, we want to go ahead and talk about the giveaway. Yeah. So there is a $5,000 giveaway. That's right, 5 racks, 5K, 5,000, mucho dinero. I think it's yeah, it's good money. So it is. $5,000 giveaway. You want to go through the details on that?
Absolutely. We were trying to think about a way we could really kind of give back to the end of the year, especially as we hit the holidays. And we just thought, man, we want to pick a local business in Las Vegas and do a $5,000 giveaway. And this can be used for any kind of merch, from shirts to hats to hoodies, all that kind of stuff. Promo merch, water bottles, the whole shebang. And we thought, how cool would it be to help a local business, give them $5,000 of free merch that they can use to just do a full extreme makeover on their, on their branding. Almost like, the shows where they redo the house and everything like that. Yeah. It's like, we want to go in because what we found is that branding and merch makes such a big difference. If you walk into a small business and the staff looks nice and they look professional and the logo's on point and the merch is great, if it's a coffee shop or a clothing brand or a dog shelter rescue, if it's a church or school, whatever it is, I was like, we're going to give away $5,000 of free merch to a Las Vegas business. You have to be based in Las Vegas or the surrounding area. You have to be in business for more than 1 year. So if you started last week, I'm sorry. If you start a business right now to make an entry, I'm sorry. You got to be in business over 1 year. And after that, there's a link to click, fill it out. A lot of great information just because we're trying to figure out how we can help you take your merch to the next level. And we're going to do a free design session. So if you win and you don't even have a logo, we're going to help with every bit of the process, from the design, the logo, the layout, everything you need, so that way your merch either upgrades or you launch a brand new awesome level of uniforms, merch, anything for your brand.
Incredible.
Right here in Vegas.
Guys, 5K giveaway. The key details is you got to be a Las Vegas-based business and you had to have been in business for at least 1 year. Our team is going to drop the link there. We're going to drop the link to enter. So there's a form. It's on the Alive Print Shop site. So you have to be in Las Vegas or in the surrounding area. So what does surrounding area mean, Austin?
Man, if you're
does it mean like LA? Like Los Angeles?
LA's a little farther. You got to be in Nevada.
Nevada.
Henderson, Summerlin, North Vegas. We're in North Las Vegas. As long as you're in the Valley. And here's the biggest thing. We're not giving this away next year. We're not giving it away at Christmas. We're doing this December 1st.
December 1st?
So you have till the end of the month.
That's in 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. We've already had, here's the great thing. We've only had 200 people enter.
Wow.
So your chances are excellent. We've only had about 200 people. We'll probably have another 200. Probably less than 500 businesses will enter. We are going to check and ask and say, hey, we want to see your Nevada business license. We just want to make sure this goes to a really great business, a creator, someone that's really passionate about it. But outside of that, enter to win. Your odds are awesome. Incredible odds.
Right, incredible.
So and it's just in time to either place your order before the end of the year or plan a big launch for early next year. New year, new gear.
Incredible. I love it. I love it. And we have somebody that says, my sister lives by your shop. So Robin, make sure that she is entering.
Tell her to enter in, yeah.
Make sure she's entering if you guys are here. So that's going to be Austin's giveaway. We're going to be linking Austin's giveaway, which is going to be the link that is offers.aliveprintshop.com/giveaway. My team member that's in the chat right now, drop Austin's link into the chat. And then our giveaway is open to anybody in the U.S. So the rules are you're going to have to enter Austin's giveaway through his opt-in form that we're going to link in the chat. We're also going to pin it to the video description. So if you guys are watching this on the replay, you guys can actually just click on that and enter. And then on our side, all you got to do is enter at fromthegroundup.io. And that's just literally, we're giving you guys free game and free blueprints. Enter through there and make sure that you guys are actually opted in to receive those emails. So once you enter in your email, you got to go in and confirm that email in your Gmail or wherever it is that you do business. And we're going to be pulling 2 winners and giving them a full brand consulting strategy and actually brand development. So you're going to be working personally with me. We've worked with some incredible brand owners, like incredible businesses. We'd love to help more of you guys out. And each of those packages is worth $2,500. And that's for the entire year. So we literally work together. You're going to be part of a private community. We're going to have access to weekly touch bases and accountability. So it's our way of making something to really impact the brand owners that are out there that want to crush it and that are already making moves. So make sure that you guys enter in at fromthegroundup.io. We're going to choose 2 winners out of there. And then we're also going to give away some PDFs and blueprints that are paid, that normally paid. We're going to give 3 more of those. So that's going to bring our total on our side, 5 winners, open to anybody in the US. So make sure if you're watching this, you sign up at fromthegroundup.io and make sure you confirm your email by following the steps that we give you there, because we need to see that you're opted in, and we're going to choose 5 of you guys as potential winners there. And then we got Austin's giveaway that's going to be linked on his site, and we're going to be linking everything as soon as this live stream is done. And we'll also tag it in the chat for you guys to enter, save it, bookmark it. It's really important. And but before we take off, I want to also make sure that we are answering your guys' question. So for one, I want to know, has this been an interesting live stream for you? Did you guys enjoy it? Did you have fun with it? Let me know in the comments. For those of you guys that have watched it from a couple minutes in, tell me what you guys liked about it. What could we have done differently? I'm trying to really create something special here for you guys, where it's not just education that you guys are watching on a YouTube video, but it's a real engaging. We're working with incredible business owners like Austin that have helped amazing brand owners all over the country. So we just want to make sure that we're getting better. So let us know your feedback and everything that you guys are thinking about what we just created. So let's see, we had somebody here that mentioned, what trends were you thinking will take off for 2026? We'll answer that one. Did you have any surprise orders from a well-known personality, actor, or musician?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, we did merch for a Las Vegas magician that owns his own private island. That was the most wild order we've ever done. I mean,
a private island.
This dude owns, some of these guys, these Vegas guys, one of the biggest magicians that's ever been in Las Vegas, on the Strip for more than 25 years. Somehow they hit us up and they're like, hey, our home team's here in Vegas, our island's out in the Bahamas. We got a little hotel thing. We need merch for our private island. That was wild.
Interesting.
Outside of that, we love doing merch for Piff the Magic Dragon. He's a local guy.
That's
runs
cool.
around in a dragon outfit, does
cool.
comedy magic. The guy's awesome.
Incredible.
So, but no, that's one of the cool things about being in Vegas is we're doing merch from the casinos to entertainers, tons and tons of UFC fighters. Vegas is like the mecca.
Mm-hmm.
We've worked with so many cool UFC fighters, and it's crazy because these guys are scary, man. They're big old, intimidating guys, and they're all the nicest guys. We've helped do different merch drops on that. So Vegas is a really interesting place to do business.
Incredible. To answer the question that came in from the trends, there was somebody asking about what do you see as the biggest trends. I want to make sure I acknowledge you for dropping that in. What trends do you think will take off? Martin Marisco, Martin. Biggest trends that are happening right now, guys, is definitely anything within the real, live events or group meetups, right? So right now, a big trend that's just happening through online is wanting to disconnect, right? So it's not necessarily going to be a trend that's like, oh, these are design trends you should think about, because those always come and go and they're very seasonal. But I want you to start flipping your mind and start thinking about, okay, how can my brand or a brand that I start actually help follow a major trend that's happening it's gonna mean that a lot more people are looking for ways to be off their phone. Mm-hmm. So we're seeing this right now in communities being built with run clubs and in meetups, and the other day we got to do pickleball together.
We did,
we were playing
John's
with
a
all
killer. You better watch out for him.
The first time
He's
ever
a shark.
playing. Yeah. So how do you getting your brand around a movement And that movement that's happening is people that just want to disconnect and build real
Absolutely.
relationships, right? I think it's helping people deal with anxiety. It's helping people reconnect with either nature. So can your brand be an extension of that? And can you kind of develop a community around that? And if you do, you start to ride that bigger trend that's just going to start changing over the next year or two.
Absolutely.
But then you infuse design trends and your best practices there to really create a product that will sell. So I always like to look at trends that not just a design trend, but what is something that's really taking off, that's still in its infancy, that if you carve out a niche within it, you can really ride that wave. And the brands that do this incredibly well is, I mean, like at the beginning of this video, and what we titled this video was, a great example was Supreme. And Supreme, the rise of Supreme was a rise of skate culture, right? So it started within the skate culture in New York, and that was something that was just bubbling, right? And then as soon as it started going to different cities and different countries and all over the world, Supreme was able to ride that trend, but so was other companies, like whether it was DC or any of these other big skate brands that grew it in the 2000s, or even to this day, that are still riding skate and streetwear, right? So it's always about finding that big trend that is going to continue to grow. And if you're already in an industry that's saturated, well, it's about finding a sub niche within that, and then maybe attaching it to a different, like combining niches, right? So like niche combinations is something that you can do. So those are two ways to look at it. Make sure you're not just looking at design trends, but you're looking at the global trends that are happening too.
Big time.
And then, so are you in for the giveaway? Okay. I've had some samples done at a live print shop. So Robin said that she has done some samples with you guys.
Thanks, Robin.
What is the most unique placement of graphic that turned out to look great?
Ooh, that's a good question. Unique placement, I really think, this might sound like a cop-out, but the best placement is usually center chest. That's where everything goes, but a lot of times when you get into weird, unique placements around your side or different areas, they're hard to see. They're hard to see. But I will say one of my favorite things that we did is we did this really cool sports tech jacket for a car club. It was very F1 style, race inspired. And what we did, which looked so good, is we just took a stripe and then just chopped up the stripe into kind of small diagonal lines. And we did one just on kind of, on the right side, and then a skinny stripe going down the vertical, right down the spine of the back. These were so simple. They were just heat transfers, little stripes, 14-inch tall. But when the jacket was done with the logos, it looked like this full-on custom, F1 inspired jacket. And it was just a few stripes. You throw a few stripes on everything, all of a sudden it's motorsports and it looks super trendy. But that's big. But then going back to what we showed with the little Easter egg on the hem tag, a cool hem tag can go a long way, from the sleeve to the hip, even putting it on the back of a beanie or a hat. The little things. Sometimes you can just have a blank item with a solid hem tag, and that's it. That's enough branding, so it's not overly branded or too many logos.
It really stands out as well. Perfect. And then I had a question. Obviously, like one of the questions that a lot of people typically have when we do tours is, how did this all start? Why did you start it? And like, how did you get here?
I won the lottery. No,
you won the lottery. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. There's no real substance here, but he's got some substance. That's why I love working with you. I love to, like, when he hit me up, he was like, yo, I got this giveaway. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I'd love to add on to that and actually attach a big prize for our community too. So we came together very organically, and he opened up his doors for us to film this, right? This is incredible. So I appreciate you.
Yeah.
But how did you start this? Like, tell us, for those people watching, like, what made you start it? What means Alive? What does Alive mean?
April is going to be 18 years. That we
18 years
since we started Alive, which is crazy.
That's insane, man.
This all started 10th grade. I was 16 years old. A few things happened that year. First thing is I worked all summer at this job to buy a cool T-shirt and some clothes at the mall because I liked clothes. And I thought I bought something unique, and I'm walking through the hall at school, and the kid's wearing the same shirt as me. And I was like, dang it. Like, we all bought the same shirts from the same mall. Like, there wasn't anything unique. That happened, and then kind of got exposed to a little bit of graphic design and a few things through, a friend's brother and stuff like that. We used to breakdance a lot in high school. That was cool.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You breakdance?
Yes, sir.
What?
Not anymore. But,
Oh, man.
No, we used to,
We're going to have to see him break it
we used
down.
to do, honestly, high school was
You know how to do the windmill?
breakdance.
You know how to do the windmills?
That was it,
Yeah.
man. More of the hand hops.
Okay.
But no, we just danced a lot and had a great time. And so we're like, oh, cool, let's get into graffiti. Let's get into these things. And I spray painted a shirt, and it was the crunchiest, crappiest thing ever. But we were just having fun. Like, we were just trying to have a good time. And 2 or 3 things came together where my job when I was 16, my parents said, hey, you can drive one of the cars at the house, like you can drive mom's old car, but you have to go run errands every day for us. That's it. And one of the errands I had to do is I had to go pick up t-shirts for my parents' construction company. And I walked into the place and I smelled that smell and everything. I was like, this is heaven. This is cool.
You like
and
the smell of a print
shop? I loved it. I loved this. I loved everything.
I like that it doesn't smell like a
no,
print
ours
shop
doesn't
in here.
smell like that. Usually, well, luckily we've changed to a lot of more eco-friendly things.
Yeah, because usually print shops smell like shit.
It smells like, like chemical. It smells like, yeah, it was chemical. Usually there's like a lot of chemicals going on there, but I just thought it was cool. And I was like, oh, I can make a shirt. I can do this. I called that guy for 6 weeks, almost every other day. And my parents gave me good advice. They said, just keep calling him and tell him you'll sweep the floors. Tell him you'll do anything. And it was a tiny little shop, and I called every day. And I ended up, going and getting my first job. And the first job was, hey, you'll clean screens. And he stuck me in this little retrofit bathroom with a pressure washer. And I did it for 4 hours. And I walked out, and the hose was leaking. So I was drenched. And the guy's like, you won't be back tomorrow. And I said, yeah, I'll be back. It was cool. We'll change the hose out. It was like he was trying to get me to quit. And I was like, no, okay, now I'm definitely back tomorrow. And I was just there for a few months. I was very, very incompetent because I thought after a few months I can do this, and I didn't know anything. And so then I just, I went to my parents. I wrote this business plan that I learned in school. I mean, I really put it all in. I had this whole thing. I said, Mom and Dad, can I borrow $3,000? Here's this equipment. Trust me. And I don't think they'd have ever seen me actually put a plan together. I wasn't the greatest student, but I was just so focused. And I said, if I start this, I promise I'll never quit. And first year after borrowing $3,000, I only did $400 in sales.
Wow, so you lost money.
And not only did I only do $400 in sales, all of the orders the first year, I had to give everybody their money back because I would print the shirt, and then the kid would come back to school and half the design is gone. He's like, yo, bro, what happened to this? I'm like, oh, crap, man, the temperature wasn't right. I'm still trying to tweak the conveyor belt speed and the temperature to dry the ink, and it was just this crazy process.
So you literally fell hard that first year.
I felt, there was so many times I'm like, what is wrong with, what am I doing? But I was, dialed in. And I'll tell you though, I failed long enough and hard enough that I think it seared in my brain, because I remember being in my parents' garage from after school to 2 a.m, months by myself, especially, and a few teachers at school would trust me to print 50 shirts here and 50 shirts there. And I'd be like, I can only print 2 colors. That's my limit. You want a design, it has to be 2 colors. That's all I can figure out how to do. And I was there for long enough that I literally had this fear kick in that I was like, what if I'm by myself for the rest of my life? What if I'm just stuck in this garage for the rest of my life, never working with anyone else? Because I like people. And it was long enough that I will never forget that feeling. So when I started building a team, and at first it was getting my cousin to print in the garage with me and everything.
You're like, you're stuck in here now.
I was like, but we're stuck here. We're stuck here together. We're together in this. And here today at a live print shop, we got 40 people on staff. I'll say the one thing that I am so grateful on is that feeling stuck with me so much that I love this place. I love the people. I love walking in. My first thing I do as soon as I get out of my car is I walk through the entire shop and I say hi to everybody, because I remember when we had nobody. I remember when we had no help. And so and it started little. I mean, for the first 10 years, it took us 10 years to hit $1 million in revenue and to get 10 employees.
Wow, 10 years.
10 years. 10 years of just showing up every day, and we only screen printed, and then we only did manual, and then finally we got an auto, and just, it wasn't big steps. It was these tiny little steps every day, and I was just thrilled about it. I'm still thrilled about it. I love every bit of this because, I didn't want to work for my parents' construction company in Vegas. I know what it's like to work a job site in Las Vegas summer, and it sucks at 120 degrees. And I just fell in love with this business. I fell in love with the people. I love watching, someone comes in and they're like, I got this new business, or I got this. And we get to take that and turn it into a product that they get to wear. And that's where a live print shop came from. We get to take this idea, this thought in their brain, and turn it alive. And then when I watch when they come and they pick it up and they open the box and they're so thrilled about it. And so 18 years in, I think I'm more passionate than ever. Wow. And I've always been pumped out of my mind.
That's awesome.
But the beauty of growing a business is you start getting people on your team, and then we call it like assembling the Avengers. You get someone that's really good at design and really good at sales and really good at customer service and good at embroidery, and you start having people to niche down. And when you put the Avengers together, it turns into something amazing. The whole is better than all the small parts. And then when you just treat people really good and make it a fun place to work, opportunity just shows up. And I love this business so much.
Okay, so you just mentioned 10 years in the grind to hit your first million. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of times today on social media, it's like, I mean, today if somebody follows you right now, they'll see your supercar in the garage. Maybe he might flaunt it every once in a while, pull it out.
Sits in the garage.
But it's 10 years in the
Such a good way.
making, right? It's 10 years in the making. They're not seeing what happened. So what?
We're in year 18. I mean,
Yeah.
here's the thing.
What kept you consistent for those 10 years?
The first 7 years was incredibly hard because I was the problem. I had this mindset that I kept thinking if I bought new, better equipment, it would fix everything. And I realized equipment has very little to do with any of it. It's about building a team. It's about getting the right people on your team. It's about building systems, repeatable systems to make sure the order gets placed and submitted and all these things. And like, we didn't have a price list for 3 years. We were just coming up with it. You know
Just
what I
out
mean?
of the air.
We're
Like,
just
today's prices
I'm
are
18
not
years old.
yesterday's
I was
prices.
16 or 17 or 18 years old. Yeah, I had no idea. I go, that looks like that would take 3 days. We had no turnaround time. I mean, I'm telling you, we did everything wrong as long as possible. It took us 10 years to build up to 10 people and hit $1 million. But once we figured it out, we went to 2 million the next year.
Wow, double in
And then we
one
went
year.
to 3 million the next year. And we literally almost added another million every year after that. And that was the first time in my life that I switched over. And I'd already been exposed to like personal development, but I actually committed. I actually spent a crazy amount of money like on coaching. I spent like $25,000 on coaching and doing this. And I started realizing that if you get the right people in the right place, then everything else happens. Now, yes, you do need the equipment. You need those things, but upgrading your computer won't make you design better. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
Getting a better heat press isn't going to give you more profit.
It's not going to give you more profit. Like, you know, I used to like sell to subsidize my hobby of printing, and I realized sales is everything. You've got to build a funnel from awareness to people coming in wanting to do business. And if you build a big enough funnel and enough people are learning about your business brand, then enough will flow out every day. And we've been able to do that where we're constantly now just reaching out. We're still only in the Vegas Valley. That's the only people we reach out to because there's still so much opportunity. Now, I always feel this way. Every time you look around when you're on a plane and you look out and you see the whole city, there's so much opportunity there. And so, you know, I mean, we're doing sometimes $50,000 to $70,000 a day, and it's just because there's so much opportunity. And every once in a while, we'll pick up customers all over the place. We're still not even trying to go outside of Vegas. We're just trying to take care of our own community and do the best work we possibly can.
Incredible.
And that compounds over time.
Incredible. So advice there, you got to love it, right? That's what I heard. 7 years of it being
Just
incredibly hard.
So hard.
But you were hard-headed enough to stick through it because you loved it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never met anybody other than print shop owners that are successful that are like that. 100%. Because printing products is very hard work. It's very dirty. You guys just saw the nice part. Like this is like, you know, the Tesla, I mean, what's the SpaceX rocket Falcon 4, right?
Yeah,
versus the first one. Like when you look at that first generation, all the wires are coming off, exploded a couple times, and then finally you got that sleek model. You guys are looking at that sleek model because it didn't look like this before.
No, it's been, I mean, this is our third facility. This is so many renditions. And I'll tell you, there's never a point when you make it. That idea that you're just gonna make it one day, that's not real. Like that's not a real thing. We had some major challenges this year that we had to adjust and change, you know, and make some major changes. There was, you know, a few times where, you know, we had a few dips we weren't prepared for, and you know, went negative $300,000 for a little bit. We had to bring it back. Like there's still always going to be challenges. The first thing I would say, if you're going to build a business or a brand or anything, that idea that you're going to sit on the beach one day and just, you know, chill out, get that out of your mind. Like completely forsake that idea that there's going to be a make it, and just fall in love with the process. I met this guy once who owns a business where he cleans carpet, and he told me he fell in love with dirty carpets. And I was like, what? And as he was telling me this, he's like, I'm actually leaving here to go get my plane to fly across the country. And I'm like, wait, you fell in love with dirty carpets? He goes, I fell in love. He goes, dirty carpets built my house, sent my kids to college. It paid for this. He goes, it wasn't like a jet, but he had like a cool little plane. He was retired and he flew around the country. And he's like, yeah, dirty carpets paid for my airplane. I'm like, I think the idea of trying to go find what makes you happy, get that completely out of your head, and just fall in love with whatever opportunity is in front of you, and then it will make you happy. Because nothing will just make you happy.
Right,
you got to fall in love with it.
That's true, and you got to be wired a little bit for it too.
You got to have something messed up.
You got to be wired different. Like I've always found that there's certain personality types or wiring that just excel at certain things, right? So like for me, I always find that print shop owners are very good problem solvers. Like you have to be a problem solver. So sometimes like people will ask me, hey, should I buy this DTG machine or this DTF machine or this heat press? And I always ask them like, yo, are you a good problem solver? Because a DTG machine or a DTF machine, doesn't matter how they sell you and they say there's no maintenance free. You best believe you're going to be maintaining that thing, and you got to take heads off, you got to clean lines, you got to troubleshoot. Deep.
You're going to get in. Our first DTG printer, the company was in like Europe somewhere, so we had to come at the shop at 2 and 3 in the morning to have the support. And we're in there, and I literally have the parts, and I can see the motherboard, and I go, dude, I'm not cut out for this. And I'm following the guy's instruction, and he's got an accent I barely understand, and I put it together at 2 in the morning. And that's not what they sold us. So that's John, that's the best thing you've ever said. It's not even about what problem you solve. You have to get good at problem
solving all the time.
All the time.
The heat press machine breaks. The screen printer stops working.
Get a good electrician as a friend. That's going to save your life. Every shop, you just need an electrician and a plumber. Those are going to be your 2 favorite people in the world. Buy them Christmas presents.
That's
Make
a
sure
really
you
good
know
point.
their best.
I need to reach out to my electrician friend, man. It's been a while, but he hooked it up with my lighting. Like he absolutely crushed it. I needed power, and he came in there and he killed it with the power.
That's the business we should be in.
That's true. Electricians. Cool. So guys, so then obviously you started it 7 years in the making. Finally, now you're growing, you're scaling the team. What is one thing that you recently learned this year? Obviously 2025 was a year that was, everybody I talked to, it was essentially a transformative year in regards to
100%.
having to figure your business really out, right? And make real quick changes. What is one thing that stood out to you this year that you had to adapt and pivot?
That's the biggest thing, man, is I would agree with that, because we have laid some structure down this year that will take us to another, 2 to 5x over the next 2 years. And it was hard. I mean, we really dove into software, we dove into systems, all these different things. But what it really came down to is I've done more collaborations this year than I've ever. I found a great guy that runs my ads, and I pay him to run my ads. I don't do it anymore. I found a great guy that helped us build our CRM and connect everything. I don't spend hours and weeks trying to do that anymore. Like I don't do. I've literally narrowed down to what I spend my time on, and I just do that. And I try to find people that are already great at doing that. We brought in our first ever sales director this year after 18 years, and to watch him go through hiring and training and all these things at such an excellent level, because he's done this for so many times. It was like amazing. It was amazing watching that, and to be able to onboard team members faster. That's what we had to fix. Is we used to think that screen printing, like you needed to do this for 5 years to get good. We didn't realize you could put a training program together and be good at really anything in 90 days with the right training. Do you think about this? They take young men and turn them into Marines in just
the right SOPs,
in just a few weeks. And it's the right plan. It's the right, so you got to have the right people in the right place. And a lot of times we had to disrupt that, put a new foundation, but now it's strong and it'll help us grow a lot more.
Incredible.
And every once in a while you hit certain levels, you're either ready to go to the next level, or you go, ooh, this thing's getting shaky. We got to go back down. And from, accounting, biggest thing we did last year, 2024, is we hired a fractional CFO. Brought a whole CFO team in. They go through our books, our taxes, everything. We had the easiest tax season we ever had, because everything was so overly prepared and together, and it wasn't me trying to look back at receipts and everything. Like, we just started putting these things in place, because if we're going to scale in 2x, 3x, get into the 10, $20 million range, these are things that can't be neglected. So you've got to be organized in your business.
That's great that you share that. And one of the things I really admire about what you do is like, you have a great family. You have great kids. So like I was at his house. I got to meet his kids. Like I've seen them in pictures and stuff. But for the first time, I met your wife. I met your kids. And they were great kids, man. They were awesome, really smart, really like driven, right? His son was out there. I almost hit him a couple times with the.
He's tough.
He's tough.
He
almost got hit right in the eye. I was like, oh man, my bad, Austin.
No, he likes it.
His kid was awesome, man. He's such a good, cool sport. But what do you like? How do you balance your work here and your family life? What does your schedule kind of look like? It's more of a personal question for me, but like, how is it that you're balancing your business?
See you guys later.
And your family. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
That's my extended family. Everybody here, their extended family. It's really. It's something I had to learn a lot, because in the beginning, I was more interested in doing the work than building the team. And so I kept thinking, to get ahead, I just needed to work more hours. So I would go home and eat dinner, and I'd come back and I'd work till midnight or 2 in the morning. And I just run the machine longer, thinking if I just get more ahead, that's going to fix everything. That's not what fixes everything, because you work more, and if you're saying your family is the most important, why do you put them behind everything? It makes no sense. I realized that there's so many great people out there that would love a great place to work, and I worked on making the place great to work on, so that way I built teams where, man, I can have a second shift. I can do this. I don't have to do everything myself, and it freed me up to, number one, focus on the things that are important in the business, but also freed me up that, like, I can be gone here and no one will notice because I've got such a great team and spend time with my family. That's my family's number one, and so that's always most important. And the big thing that, especially since my kids are older, they're 8 and 9 now, I tell them everything. I tell them everything about the business. We had a little issue where I told my son, I was like, hey, we're losing money this month. And so what we started is every day I tell him my sales number. I tell him every single day, and he goes, Dad, what was the sales numbers today? And if it's a crappy number, I'm like, oh man, but it was this number. He goes, oh, Dad, that's not good. Like, that's not a good sales number.
He's holding you accountable.
He holds me accountable. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And so
wow, that's actually pretty cool.
I try to inform them as much as I can, because like that's the beauty of having a small business is that, like, you get your family in it, you get your kids immersed in it. And I tell my family everything. I tell them if it's a great day, a bad day. I tell them why. I tell them if I mess something up, if someone else. I just share a lot with them, and then I listen. And man, kids say the craziest thing. Like, my daughter goes, Dad, do you like, is there 100 people in a live print shop? I'm like, no, that's a lot of people. There's 40. She's like, 100 sounds better. She get 100 people. And my initial reaction goes, 100's a lot. Like, 100 employee, like, that's a huge company. But I go, she thinks it's so possible. So like, listen to your kids. Like, they're at this age where anything's possible. You know. Yeah. And so that's the one thing I think we can lose is just stop thinking. We're so practical about everything. But what got you excited about your business or your brand is, at one point you thought anything was possible.
That's so true.
You can do 40 employees, you can do 100. If you could do $1 million in sales, you can do 10. You can do, like, you've got to change the processes. But, and then I don't neglect my family. I take trips. I take them. I talk to them about everything, and they're the why. And I'll sit down with my kids. I said, hey, it's 7 weeks till Christmas. Dad's working hard. Like, we've got these plans. Here's the goal. You know, and when I'm here, I don't call or text my family. When I'm at work, I'm 100% at work. And when I'm at home, I'm 100% at home. The worst thing to do is to be at work trying to deal with family issues, and to be at home trying to text work and you're not there with your kids. Like, that's the biggest thing I learned. Jim Rohn talks about that. Wherever you are, be 100% there.
That's solid, man. Solid advice.
100% there.
Solid advice. Bro, this has been an incredible live stream. I know a lot of people took a lot of gems from it. Somebody said came for the printing, stayed for the entrepreneurial gems. What's your biggest insight? Biggest insight was seeing Dre Day, seeing the whole production process and the different type of productions you offer. Lounger Club says knowing there's a print brand, a program offering insights in the industry available. Love it, family first. Man, this has been such a cool live stream. And for those of you guys that stuck around, again, we encourage you guys to enter in the giveaway. We linked it in the video description, and we also put it up in the chat. So enter Austin's live print shop giveaway, open to 5K. 5K
of free merch.
And then can you restate how you're going to select or who enters?
If you're a business in Las Vegas, you've been in business more than 1 year, business, church, nonprofit, whatever type of group you guys are, enter in to win. We want to give a local business or church or nonprofit or school over $5,000 of free merch. It's going to be a huge merch makeover. You just got to be in business over 1 year, and you got to be in Las Vegas or the surrounding area.
And the surrounding area, unfortunately, does not include LA or Mexico. It's got to be in Nevada.
Sorry, Texas is too far.
And for those that enter and maybe don't win that, right? Because maybe they're not. Is there any benefits or any discounts or something happening?
We were actually keeping it, quiet until you enter, but anybody that enters in is going to get $250 off their first order.
Anybody located all over the U.S.?
All over the U.S.
All right, look at that. I got it out of him, so make sure you guys
and you get free shipping.
Enter either way, even if you're not in Vegas.
Of that. And we don't do screen setups. It's going to be worth it. I mean, a lot of times we hear a lot that, man, we're able to deliver a lot at a great value because we know if we can help our customers grow, they're going to make us grow.
Incredible.
Like, it's just such a great ecosystem, and so
we're really committed. What's the minimum order quantity if somebody wants to just place an order for your shop? Like, what's their
Very
minimum?
easy to get started. Screen printing's 36 pieces. You can obviously mix and match sizes, but 36 of one design, and then with embroidery it's 24.
Oh, that's super
Yeah.
super attainable.
Absolutely.
Awesome, guys. So make sure you guys are entering into that print shop giveaway. We linked it in the chat. We're going to also put it in the video description. And then for our giveaway, we're doubling it. It's going to be 5K, and we're working with you guys 1-to-1 over the next 12 months. So if you currently have a business, a brand, and you're looking to elevate it through content, branding, strategy, that's what we're there for at FromTheGroundUp.io. Right now it's showing a free kit download. You have to be subscribed to that list. So if you've already downloaded that in the past, just make sure that you're opted in by reconfirming that and actually making sure that you approve the email that we're allowed to email you. So make sure you guys follow the steps as you enter that. So then you enter automatically into that giveaway as well. That's 2 people that are going to win the $2,500 prize, bringing it up to 5K. And we're also going to be sprinkling in some PDF downloads that are normally $97. We're also going to give those away to 3 different winners. So 5 winners on our side. Austin is giving away 1 grand prize to a local business. But then also, if you're in the U.S. and you're looking for a nice hookup, he's also going to do a nice kickback to anybody that's entering. So make sure you guys check out those live stream giveaways in the video description. And Austin, this has been the biggest live length that I've ever done.
Oh yeah.
So this has actually been really cool to have you here, man.
Yeah.
And if you guys are seeing behind the scenes, we got the man you see here on a gimbal on an iPhone. So
yeah.
We had to just kind of mix it. I'm hoping to elevate this. So anything that you guys like from this live stream, things that you really wanted me to maybe expand on in a future live, I want to build this into a consistent series. So if you guys could leave me a message, Instagram, or even in the YouTube comment, give me a suggestion on what would make this more interactive and even bigger value for what you guys are doing, because we just want to continue to build you guys up. We want to continue sharing the game, sharing the resources, and really helping you with the strategy to grow. So we surveyed you guys earlier. A lot of you guys are doing print on demand. Some of you guys have done bulk production. So how can we better assist you in 2026 and beyond? Leave that as a feedback in the chat or in the YouTube comment. And make sure you guys check out the next video that we're going to plug in at the end of this video to continue diving more. And Austin, appreciate you for having us, man.
You're the man.